RAVAGED STAR, the Immari. Once we were a prosperous and multitudinous people. Once we were the enthusiastic allies of the vanguard of Rohalins. Once we were hopeful. Only 70 years ago, this all changed. We, the Immari, we loved our world. Loved our cities, loved every station on every planet, every outpost in the system around our star. We, the Immari, we were rooted in our past. It was our bedrock. We were proud of it, of our achievements, of our culture. Long lived, we were not fleeting, so nor were our worlds, our great endeavors. We did not just build to last, we built to honor our forebears. Unlike others, we did not tear down and replace, we layered improvement upon. Each construction was lovingly maintained, built around, enhanced or expanded, never destroyed, never replaced. I could walk down the avenue of honor and see the very newest displays of architectural brilliance, yet continue my ponderous walk to its origin and witness the oldest bastilles our people had ever wrought. The line of our people enshrined in rock, then metal, then glittering composites. I loved Immari, our world, our home. It was perfect. Thus, like many, I signed up. I was a warrior of the engineers of war, a proud defender of all dwarfdom. I once stood shoulder to shoulder with Colonel Boberon Trax. I was one of his Ford Strike Division. I witnessed the horror of Ankar. You see, we had always been trusting. Oh, we were cautious, and all had to earn this trust with deeds, not platitudes. But we had come to trust the vanguard. We were kindred spirits. Where we explored ourselves and our system, they explored the stars further afield. Yet, we felt like kin. So, when the vanguard called for aid, we answered. We did so thunderously. We sent it all, every last ship, every last engineer of war. We came as a vengeful torrent of battle. And we won. But it was hell. The Rohalins, the vanguard, had nosed too far, had uncovered something like nothing we had ever encountered before. When we heard that their entire expedition had been butchered, we knew that nothing short of our best would suffice. So, as I said, I cannot believe it. We sent everyone, everything, and we did our job. We retained our honor. We went to this world, this haven of horrors, where the vanguard had been smashed. We landed on the planet Ankar, there to face the Gorkog. Those days have been etched into my mind. When I close my eyes, I can still see their pincers, their numbers, their hateful bodies, their hateful purpose. In the deep of night, I still think I can hear their screeching. We thought they were like hives at first. We tried to slay their leaders, for they looked so much like bugs. But this was not so. They were each independently motivated for one purpose: for slaughter. So we adjusted our attacks again and again. We ground them down with our incarnates and diplomat warsuits. We blasted them out of the airs with our wasp drones, as our shield wardens and maidens held their lines back. our war heralds and oppressors drove into their ranks. They were animals. They were terrifying. They were diverse and terrible. Yet we did it. We smashed them and broke their lines, slew their leaders, drove them before us. We wiped them out. And so, despite being scarred in mind and body, we returned to our fleet victorious. We travelled home, expecting a jubilant pageant that would last cycles. Then, the moment came. We broke into our system, our fanfares blaring onto the comms. But there was no response. And then, we scanned. And it happened. The soul-shattering, some call it. Others dub it the loss of hope or the end of history. Though these are only whispered in private, never stated in polite company. For we saw they had come. The Gorkog. While we engineers of war were at anchor, they were here. The Gorkog had laid a trap. The Rohalinth vanguard had sprung it, and we had been fed into it. For nothing and nobody was left. The Gorkog had come to our worlds. They had slain every last Immari. Not one survived. Not even one. But they were not just bugs. They were driven by some dark malice, for they did not just kill. They desecrated and destroyed. In some of the youngest outposts, there were not two stones standing one beside the other. On our home world, they had crushed near all. Rubble, where real estate once stood. The work of hundreds of generations, wiped out in a single event. We have set to rebuilding, for we warriors, we engineers of war, were many. Yet there is no longer trust. There cannot be. So we also build on a distant star, not known to the Vanguard, not known to the Gorkog, we pray. Regstadt it is called. Our home far from home. But everything has changed. For the Vanguard could not help us now. Their own people, they went too far yet again. They went into the Vale, and came back horrors every bit as bad as a Gorkog. And the Vanguard are not who we thought, for they have allowed the siege of Rohalinth itself. Their home now lies in ashes, yet not as badly as ours. They began this war. They lost their part of the war. Then they let us die for them. Allies we may be once more, but there can never, ever be trust. Once, we were dreamers, shapers, builders, and makers. No longer. Now we are vengeance. For we know deep down, no matter where we are not safe. We can never be safe until the Gorkog are dealt with. Hence do we now say, death to the Gorkog! For there cannot be a future for our people until theirs have been annihilated. Welcome, gentle listener, I am Baldermort, and I wish to introduce you to something very exciting indeed. Alas, I have moved home and am still in the midst of limited access to the internet, back baking, shifting things around, unpacking, and being dog-tired. Hence, no lore this week. I am sorry. But rest assured, the cogs are whirring in my mind as I move every box, every book, and I hope to provide a veritable banquet of lore the moment I am settled. And so, today, we take a look at a project started by a good friend and fellow YouTuber. MiniWargaming.com is the site, and Dave and Matt are the names. And they have begun the audacious steps towards releasing their new game. Now, I have already spoken of the RAVAGED STAR line before, from Lazy Squire, and of course, MiniWargaming.com, links in the description. This covered the first line of miniatures the Veil touched. A Chaos analogue, one might think. Horrors from beyond the Veil. But then, it was just a project for models. As sumptuous as they were, they could be used as proxies only. And trust me, these models were delicious. But now, there are not only two more created factions, the Immari and the Gorkog. Oh no, this is no longer just pretty pieces of plastic. For Matt is now devising a game in which to use these gorgeous wee dwarfs and monsters. The images appearing on your screen are the most basic of the details concerning these new figures, this bright new venture. For they are setting down the foundations for a very swift, gripping alternative activation game with everything you would want from a wargame. And the beauty of RAVAGED STAR is that it is designed by gamers for gamers. Of course, pure painting hobbyists should also take a look, but this game has an exceptionally lower bar to entry than usual, for the models are all made, the rules are swift and the roles are limited. Much as we all love Warhammer and other such games, Mini Wargaming Matt is taking all of his considerable experience in many games and rule formats and attempting to make something we all will love. Simple to learn, but nuanced enough to be hard to master. With far fewer time-consuming stages and without constant re-rolls galore. The system allows more granular difference in units by using a 10-sided dice system instead of the standard 6. By this pragmatic deviation to the norm, more modifiers can be given, releasing that one roll for attack and defense to be as elegant as it is evocative. For we all must have felt it. The slow march of the re-roll or multiply stacked defensive dice rolls, denuding each of that emotional high, and of course, the importance of each dice roll. So, using their new system, the rolls will have stakes again. The stats are simple and efficient, yet amazingly descriptive and deliciously deep. And the very best of all, it is being designed in collaboration with you, the gentle listener. A group effort, it is truly for the gamers, by the gamers. So hit the links in the description to this video to not only the GAMEFOUND campaign, but also to the videos from MiniWargaming.com showing the game mechanics and how they are being developed. And go and have your say in the comments. Matt really is listening, just as hard as Dave did when designing the models themselves. So get stuck in. I hope to see you all again soon. Wish me luck with unpacking. Alas, I'd forgotten just how heavy a collection of books and codices were. What a silly ball, eh? Now, no matter what you do today, do try to make some time for fun. Toodaloo.